with those interruptions aside, hello, folks, and welcome to to another What If. This is what if Deku was a true Spartan warrior, part 1. All right. So we're gonna start with Deku being born, but he's not, born in the way of of the normal Spartan kids. And I'll get to it when I do, what I'm saying. But as Deku is born, he's he's being expected, examined, or whatever, like every Spartan baby. He's examined for any blemishes or deformity on the child, and if he has anything like that, he'll be thrown off the mountain or just left there on the mountain or some shit like that. So as the folks are expecting Deku, they can see that that he's different from the kids they expected. He's they can see that he's strong, and that there's a burning rage in his eyes, a calm yet rage burning inside him. Not once has the boy cried. And as he's being ignored by the adult Spartan, because that's what they would do to the kids, you know what I'm saying, to ignore them, to give them strength, whatever. He never cried. And he would often be found playing with the spears and swords, as if he was always meant to hold one. And the men and women of Sparta respected the fact that Deku seems like he already wants to get on the battlefield. So as Deku, let me tell you that this Deku, he doesn't, he's not normal looking Deku. Think of how should I say this? Think of, like, I don't know. He's strong and whatever. He doesn't have that round face. I'm saying it's more somewhat straight. Similar to like a young Uchiha boy or something like that. You know what I'm saying? He has the black hair and whatever, and so yeah, as Deku's time skip, he's finally 7 or 8 or whatever, 7 or 8. He's he's pretty fit for a young kid himself. He's strong and whatever. He's not like some buff freak. You know what I'm saying? He's toned. Think of like a, say like a he's just he's toned or whatever. Think of like Teen Gohan, whatever, when he was training with Goku on Super Saiyan 2. You see how that boy, see how fit he is? That's basically Deku, but not too exaggerated, because Dragon Ball Z loves to exaggerate their muscles. So yeah, it's not too exaggerated. But Deku's now 7. He's basically taken away by taken away, but from his family to take the agoge or agogi. I don't know how you pronounce it, but it's basically a test for young Spartan boys to grow strong or whatever. Basically, you know, you would basically be left there to fend for yourself, get your own food, or whatever. You know, I mean, I think if you saw 300, the movie, the little beginning scene with King Leonidas, and they basically explain that. So just go watch, just go look up a clip of 300 when he was a kid or whatever, or when Leonidas was a kid, and they basically will explain that. And Deku is pretty much as he's taking the Ogogi test or whatever. He's pretty much the strongest there for some reason. As by the time he turned 12, he's become more skilled than even most of the adult Spartan soldiers, often able to take them down easily in order to get food. Not killing them, of course, but his strength for some reason is overwhelming, and this catches the attention of King Archidamus II. He's one of the Archidamus is one of the older kings, of Sparta before Leonidas. King Archidamus II. I forgot to pull up the picture when I said his name. That's what I was planning on doing. So, anyway, King Archidamus seen the boy as a true, a true warrior, with the skills and all, basically, and seeing that he's in a long war with Athens, that's basically Sparta's rival city or army or whatever the hell they are, rival state, I guess, country. But yeah, seeing that basically decides to recruit Deku as a Spartan warrior early. Yeah, Deku's that good. He's gonna be that. And there's a reason for it, which I'll get to it eventually. So, pretty much a year later, a 13-year-old Deku is pretty much baptized in the war, killing as many Athenians as he can with no effort at all. Pretty much, cutting through their army with his sword and everything, bashing fools' heads in with his shield, freaking impaling these fools with his spear. The Athenians, are pretty shocked at this. They're not sure how this boy's doing this. That's at such a young age. One of the strongest Athenians try to cut down Deku, but Deku pretty much dodges that fool, and since with his small stature, he's technically a bit faster than most of these adults. So as he dodged hole under the guy's legs, cutting his left leg off, forcing him to drop down as Deku jumps up and pretty much stabs him in the head with his sword. And as Deku is fighting or whatever, this is pretty much this is pretty much what the Athenians are seeing, as see on the picture. This is what they're seeing: an unstoppable rage monster that the Spartans had released. Of course, he's not. Of course, Deku's not fighting by himself. He got his brothers behind him, helping him out, and his king, destroying these Athenians. And it gets to a point where the Athenians try to run away, And to imagine the Athenians, they're basically somewhat similar to the Spartans, but blue. But not too similar. They're warriors and all, but they ain't as cool as Spartans. they are not as cool as Spartans, y'all. So yeah, some Athenians are trying to escape, but none can flee against Deku's wrath, as he pretty much chases these Athenians down like a rabid animal. Think of like Guts, as he would cut down those apostle demon fools with the berserker armor. That's basically how Deku is. Just jumping around, just cutting fools' heads off. His Spartan brothers are cheering him on, And I'm gonna be honest, a story break here. Spartans are pretty progressive with the especially how back then, how they treat they would treat their females. The Spartans are a little different, because the females would they often train too. Actually, they're technically considered the last line of defense in Spartan. Everybody's a warrior. Of course, most of the females are not trained like the boys, but they're warriors too, and they defend Sparta. They stay in Sparta to defend it, while the men go and fight in the war where they die, because that's considered the highest honor in Sparta, to die in a war. And the highest honor for a female Spartan is to when they die in birth. When a female Spartan die in birth, it is considered, I could be wrong, but to my knowledge, it is considered that when a female Spartan dies in birth, that means they just produced a really strong child. And that some woman is, honored, pretty much. I could be wrong. That's, I think I just heard that somewhere. I'm not sure, but just want to drop some Spartan facts on you, because Spartan facts on you, because Spartans are cool. They're freaking cool, yo. Is this chunk still recording? Yeah, it's recording. Okay, but anyway, so back to the story, as Deku's just tearing these fools apart, along with his brothers, who are taking, who are just taking these Athenians down. They just can't do nothing. So it just pretty much it just gets at a point where the Athenians eventually surrender, and gives up on that of the war, and pretty much the Spartans wins. As the Spartans happy and all, winning the battle finally, as they go home or whatever. But but there is one person who is not happy with the Athenians' defeat, and that person is the goddess of war, Athena, the non-virgin goddess. There's a reason I put the non-virgin goddess there. As you can, probably guess. So yeah, Athena, known as the goddess of war, wisdom, and all that crap, is not too happy with the Athenians' defeat, since that's pretty much her city. The Athenians worship her because she's wisdom and all, and the Athenians are all about that. I mean, they couldn't use that wisdom to win this battle, but So anyway, pretty much the Athenians, Athena laid waste to Sparta, and pretty much destroyed it, as Deku is mostly focused on her two guards over there, as she is just destroying Sparta. I'll let you imagine what she do, because I'm not 100% sure of what destructive power Athena can bring. I know she can curse. She can curse people and all. I remember she turned some lady into a spider. Even though she was kind of smug about it, technically won fair and square. Athena was just a sore fucking loser. Oh, and she's the one who made Medusa. And it wasn't even fair how she made it, because fucking Poseidon, it was like one of these, one of these girls who pretty much worship Athena, and these girls, the only way you can worship Athena is to be virgin or whatever. And one of these girls who's virgin and all, she was beautiful and whatever. She was tempted by, Poseidon. Poseidon and the girl, she didn't want anything about that. So, but, he didn't want anything from Poseidon. So that dude pretty much, just decided to, pretty much sexually assault the girl. You know what I mean? He pretty much, he forced himself on the girl. And you want to know what, you want to know what Athena did? Did she comfort the girl who was, literally being raped by a fucking god? So it's not like she could have done anything. It's not like she could have done anything about it. But, no. Athena didn't comfort her. She punished her by turning her into Medusa. Which I think that's fucked up. that's fucked up and not. So yeah. I mean, technically, all the Greek gods are kind of assholes. And the funny thing is, the least asshole-ish out of all of them is freaking Hades. And he's freaking Hades of all people. Because all of them, they're all fucking assholes. But, back to the story with Athena destroying Sparta. As she, laying waste to, almost everybody. There's also, but all this destruction of Sparta really only just angers one god that Sparta mainly worships. Fucking the god of war, Ares himself. Who's, who's at that Athena would dare to attack his city. So he pretty much goes down there to attack Athena to stop her from destroying the rest of his city until the king of the gods himself, Zeus, interferes. As he, pretty much throwing a lightning bolt between them, pretty much saying, "What in my name are you doing? My name are you doing?" As Ares like, "Father, she's destroying my city. I will not allow this." As Athena pretty much saying, "These damn Spartans are humiliating my people. They deserve death." As they're pretty much arguing between each other. As Deku already pretty much killed Athena's guards or whatever. As Athena feels that because it was unexpected, because those guards are extremely powerful. As Athena looks at Deku and both Zeus and Ares look at Deku, as Ares and Athena are looking at Deku, examining that fool like, real close and all, as pretty much Ares is like, "Hold on, this is our son, Athena." As I'm sure you guys are like, hold up, wait a minute, Athena and Ares are related, they can't be doing stuff like that. well, technically, Zeus and Hera are also related, related, and granted, first time, Zeus pretty much, sort of forced himself onto her. They pretty much, kept having sex and having kids. So I don't really think the gods give a fuck about, you know, taboos or whatever or anything like that. Because, who's gonna stop them, really? They're the gods. It's not like there's a freaking book for the gods where it freaking says, "Thou shalt not sleep with their fucking sibling," sibling or whatever shit. Nope, the gods don't care. So yeah. And since and I know Athena's, the virgin goddess, but not in my story. She's no virgin goddess. So, yeah. Athena and Ares pretty much see that, Deku is their son. Which is the reason why, Athena kind of attacked Spartan in the first place, just to get pissed off Ares, because they had their kid Deku, but they somehow lost it, and they ended up blaming each other. So Athena pretty much when she saw the Athenians lose against Sparta, all that did was gave her an excuse to attack Sparta, just so she can piss off her husband / brother Ares. I know this is weird. But it happens. It happens. It already happened in the real Greek mythology. I know you don't want to think about it, but Zeus is related to Hera. I bet you won't be seeing that, that Hercule Disney movie in the same way, huh? But anyway, Zeus seeing this kid as as his grandson, and technically a full-fledged god, not a demigod, but a full-fledged god whose powers have not been activated. Pretty much, spoke with Ares and Athena with a little plan that Zeus came up with, as Athena walks up to Deku. Deku kind of backing away a little angry, because she did destroy his city, as she reaches out to Deku taking off his helmet, and rubbing his hair, bringing him close for a hug, rubbing his hair or whatever, as she pulls up Deku's face, pretty much pretty much saying that your grandfather, Father Zeus, wants to make you the champion of Olympus and a full-fledged god. A full-fledged god. Get out of here. Get out of here. Watch later. What is these white borders? No, I don't like it. There we go. I would prefer a darker border, especially since most of you guys are gonna see this at night. So I wouldn't want you guys, to be watching your screen with a white border, because that's like a lot of light that will be flashing through you guys' eyes and it'll hurt you. So I would prefer these darker borders, so it doesn't mess up your eyes. Oh, and anybody watching this, y'all make sure to go to your little settings into the general area and turn on that dark theme joint when you're watching videos at night, because I know damn well a lot of you guys are doing that when you're watching videos on your phone at night. Turn on that dark glare joint so that all that flashing light can stop going in your eyes, or you're just gonna end up ruining your eyes. Turn it on. So anyway, Deku, thinking on this and seeing that he doesn't really have a home in Sparta anymore, accepts these terms and pretty much goes with his mother and father to Olympus. With Olympus, Zeus making Deku a full-fledged god and new champion of Olympus. Deku pretty much traveling the world, destroying creatures that might threaten the rule of Zeus or whatever. And it's pretty much how his life goes for many, and I mean many centuries. I mean, just take the Spartan time, and then take the Spartan time on your left hand, and then take the my hero timeline on your right hand, and fit as many centuries as you can between them. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's pretty much we're in the My Hero timeline, and humans don't really worship the Greek gods anymore. They know of them, but they don't worship the Greek gods anymore. And Zeus doesn't really have a problem with that, really. But Deku, who is just a century, a many century-year-old man in a 13-year-old body, since he became a full-fledged god when he was 13, then he technically never aged, since he's a god or whatever. And yes, I know Zeus is an old man, kind of looks like an old man or whatever. But just get that out of your mind. None of the other guys are that important, right? Are going to be important to the story. So, forget that. Forget that plot hole. It doesn't matter. So, Deku, who's been on Olympus for so long, no monsters to face since he pretty much, killed them all. All that's left is just, humans with, these powers that somewhat, came out of nowhere. As Deku decides to have a talk with his grandfather Zeus, pretty much saying that I I want to live on the human world. And explore it or whatever. Everything's so new. All these this craziness that the humans are creating for themselves compared to my time as a Spartan warrior. The things they are able to do, it's almost unnatural. I'd wish to live among them, grandfather. Please. What the hell? What the hell was that? Forget it. But anyway, as Deku pretty much saying, I wish to live among them, as Zeus thinks about this, and decides to take this information to Ares and Athena, who pretty much have a better relationship between them ever since Deku came back into their lives. So they're hearing this, and they don't want to deny their son of anything. Pretty much agrees with this, and allow Deku to live among the human world. So Zeus explaining that when he lives among the humans, you will keep all your god powers, but you will also age like a normal human would. But and as you on your world, there is something I want you to do. I want you to kill someone. Though you are a trained killer. Most of the people down there, how they work, their heroes that I've seen, they don't kill. They don't kill villains. They lock them up. So you pretty much do as they do. But there is one person I want you to kill. This man who dares call himself God. his name. They call him. They called him All for One. I wish for you to kill him. So, because that fool, All Might has failed me in doing so. That All for One is still alive. So I want you to one day kill him, so his soul can go to my brother Hades, so my brother can torture his soul for all eternity. Will you do that for me, grandson? As Deku nods yes. Zeus pretty much saying, good. So good. So as Deku pretty much asking, so how exactly am I gonna go to the human world? Well, and as Zeus pretty much saying, well, I'm going to kill you, then turn you into a statue and throw you at the earth. As you know, Deku looks at him weird. I'm saying, how does that? If I'm dead, then I won't be able to go anywhere. I'm just gonna be dead. It's like, as Zeus pretty much saying, no, you'll still be alive when I throw you down there. But you're going to kill me here? Yes. If I kill you now, your essence will, if I kill you now and throw you to earth, when you resurrect, you'll be an immortal body. You'll still have all your god powers, but you'll age. As Deck pretty much, saying, that makes no sense. As Zeus pretty much saying, well, that's how we're gonna do it. Well, that's how we're doing it. As he grabs Deku, snaps his neck, turn him into a statue, and pretty much, just chucks that man. And Deku is flying in the air. Not flying in the air, just, tunneling down to Earth. Catching on fire. He pretty much, crashes into onto an island. This island is owned by David Shield, who heard the crash and decides to check it out with his team, as they expect the crash, and they see that it's just a huge crater with one thing in it, a statue of a young boy. As David takes the statue to lab so he can study it. And as David is studying the statue, it's to crack. A red crack starts forming all over the statue of the boy, until Deku finally, bursting out with a loud war cry, that can, pretty much, be heard by the whole island. A war cry of, of rage and anger until he faints. He finally faints. David, pretty much seeing as how unexpected this was, and unexpected was what pretty much picks up the boy, checks that if he's still alive, and seeing that he just fainted, just takes the boy in, leaving him in a room with a bed on a bed. As some of David's colleagues came to check up on him to see if he's okay. David pretty much saying that he's fine, but the statue of the boy, it broke, and it turned into just that regular boy, and he pretty much made that yell that you guys heard just now. Some of them, most of them are surprised from hearing this and all, as Deku is just sleeping. And two weeks later, Deku finally wakes up as he Deku finally wakes up as he sees a young 14-year-old girl looking at him blushing. This blushing girl is Melissa Shield, who I decided de-age from 17 to 14. So kind of a year older than Deku. Or yeah, he's 13, she's 14. Sorry. So anyway, Deku getting up from the bed with a fighting stance, since he's pretty much being stared at by a stranger, as she waves her hands in front of her. It's like, whoa, hold on, it's okay, it's okay, you just woke up, you just woke up. My dad found you in some crater. You fell from the sky. That's insane. And I can't believe you're still alive. You even made that insane war cry that everyone heard from the entire island. Is that like your quirk or something? as Deku, he technically, since he was technically, even though he was a god of Olympus, he's technically been watching the humans from time to time, learning of what they do. So he knows about these quirks or whatever. Pretty much, saying that no, that is not my quirk. That's not my quirk. As she's pretty much saying like, what is quirk then? What is your quirk then? As Deku is like, my quirk is classified. I would rather no one know about it. As Melissa is like, oh, I understand, but my quirk is called Phoenix. Though I'm not really good with it. Yeah, and I'm giving Melissa a quirk in this one, and it's called Phoenix. It pretty much she can create like a bird sidekick that helps her controls fire or whatever. As Deku, as David enters the room, see that you're finally awake, kid. That was a long fall. And an insane cry, no less. What is your name? Deku. Oh. Do you have any parents, Deku? As he was gonna say, Ares and Athena, but they can't. He's not gonna let them know that. Well, not just yet, but he's pretty much saying, he's just staying silent. And David is just thinking that, he probably has no parents, a young orphan. Then, as he gets an idea to adopt him, so just so that Melissa could have someone her age, close, cause she's like the only child. So David pretty much saying was like, well, I'm gonna take your silence as you don't have any parents. So how about this? You can stay on my island with us as long as you want. As long as you do one thing for me. And Melissa's, as Deku's like, and what is that? Help out my daughter from your physique and all. You seem strong, and you probably know what you're doing. And probably really good quirk. So I want you to help my daughter out. And if you do that for me, you can stay here as long as you want. So, I need to drink some water, yo. But after the what if. But Deku accepting this offer. This offer to help out Melissa. Let's just say pretty much a time skip to like a year, a time skip like a year. Deku has pretty much made a name for himself on David's Island. Helping around the lab, lifting heavy stuff not even a crane can lift. There was an accident. There was an accident with a boat full of workers. Workers at Shield's place. Deku, saved them all going through the fire and all. It's not even affecting him. Pretty much made a name for himself on on David's Island. And during this time, Melissa have grown really fond of Deku, like really fond of him, of how strong he can be, how he's kind of a mystery and all, wondering why he only has one eye, cause Deku, let's say the one mistake he ever made during his war in Spartan time, as fighting the Athenian, one Athenian got a lucky shot across his eye, pretty much giving him a scar on his left eye, and only leaving him with the one red eye. So yeah, his eye is red, his iris is red or whatever, something like the Sharingan, but when he gets angry is when it starts glowing and it leaves that trail, kind of like the Goblin Slayer, that badass shit there, which I wonder if that's just due to effect with the Goblin Slayer or just like some power he has or whatever. Probably not. I don't think that dude has any powers whatsoever, or else we would have seen it. And I wish it was, a little darker, as dark as Berserk, because first episode with that team of that team when they went into the goblins. That goblins, whatever, and they pretty much all got wrecked. And that one poor fighting girl got the worst out of all of them. Pretty much seems like, pretty much people's experience like, this is gonna be dark. You know what I'm saying? But it was mostly lighthearted, and I'm not gonna say Berserk doesn't have its lighthearted moments. It definitely does. But it's being overpowered or overshadowed by the misery and the destruction of the apostles, and that's how I was kind of expecting from Goblin Slayer, but we didn't really get that. It's doesn't mean it makes it bad. It's really good. But the one anime I'm hoping for is Overlord. I cannot wait for the next season. That junk is so good. But anyway, Deku would let me break down how Deku looks. Deku looks. You know, 14-year-old Deku. He's almost as somewhat as somewhat height tall as he's as tall as Ida. Tall as Ida. A slim yet fit look to him, strong and all. Somewhat, long spiky hair, somewhat similar to the cautious hero. If you know that guy, if you know how he looks, you pretty much have hair similar to that, and a special like eye patch that was made from David. Let me look up an eye patch to give y'all an idea. So yeah, this right here, it's it's a bit, it's smaller than that. It's much smaller than that. It has some interesting features or whatever. It helps him with different type of stuff. With hacking. See if he has to hack or whatever, because he's been with David for a year, and David has been teaching Deku with about technology or whatever, technology and whatnot. He's good with the history and math and all that jazz, but when it comes these certain new things and with the technology, he's not sure. He's not sure about it, so yeah. Anyway. That's pretty much, how, Deku looks. And, the armor, as you see here, he pretty much, conjures it onto himself when he's ready for battle. So yeah, Deku, over that year, I said he pretty much helped Melissa with her quirk, which gotten better. She can make her Firebird Phoenix or whatever bigger and all. It can, attach to her back to help make her fly. She can shoot fireballs or whatever, make firewalls to protect herself. She's pretty much like a fucking firebender, but with a firebird to assist. She's pretty much a firebender. So Todoroki is not gonna like her. But you know who will like her? Fucking Endeavor. So anyway, as Deku, living on peace on the island or whatever. Thinking about that all for one person that Zeus wanted dead. He asked David Shield about that, if he knew about all for one, and that David pretty much told him that that he's dead, as Deku knows better that All For One is still alive, and that All For One failed. I mean, not All For One, that All Might failed in completely killing him. So, yeah. Deku, thinking about that, pretty much, pretty much here's an explosion at the on the somewhat on the other side of the island with the at the huge laboratory. They're pretty much being attacked by really powerful villains. And there are some heroes who are on the island, but they can't do much against these villains. And before they can the villains can go any further, Deku jumps in against between them, punching one of the villains in the stomach, sending him flying against a wall or whatever, a tree. As some of the other villains come rushing in against Deku. He conjures up that that golden armor, as you see there, with the red cape and all, and his red eye glowing, kind of scaring the villain, as Deku charges in with his shield, bashing one of the guy's head with his shield, knocking him away. As one guy tries to shoot Deku, he cuts the gun in half, boom, hitting him with the shield, hitting him with the shield. As Deku is just unstoppable monster and all. As he just taking down these villains easily. One of say like a big guy with a let's say with a strength quirk or whatever, tries to punch Deku into his helmet, try to crack it, but it does nothing, because that's the arm of the gods that so let's say what's that dude named Hephaestus? That's the blacksmith guy. Hephaestus made that armor, that new armor for Deku. It's pretty much it's similar to his old armor as he was fighting in the war against the Athenians. But Hephaestus pretty much recreated the armor for Deku. But this one, it was pretty much made by the hands of a god. So no mortal, no matter how powerful their quirk is, can break this armor. So yeah, this armor or shield or whatever, shield and everything, as Deku, uppercuts the guy, and grabs him from the back while he was in the air, and pretty much slams him in the ground hard, and kicks him away. As the lesser, weaker villains are pretty much seeing this scary image of a man, and they just pretty much surrender. As the police finally comes and arrest the villains, and Deku taking off the armor. Let's say it's like the way it's put on and conjures off is like it's light base. It like turns into like sparkles of light or whatever, and it forms into into like a tattoo on his back, like the Greek symbol, that omega symbol. You know that. If you don't, just look up, just look it up. The omega symbol, and it's pretty much like a tattoo on his back, and that's where the armor goes. It just like turns into like particles of light and just goes inside the tattoo. As the hero seeing this, just amazed at this kid's strength and how he was able to stop these whole villains, all these villains by himself. As the heroes, the heroes would scold Deku for using his power, using his quirk without a license, but they would mostly praise him for single-handedly taking care of those villains, pretty much telling him that he should become a hero in the future. As Deku thinking about this, becoming a hero. If he become a hero, this would get him closer. This might get him closer to All For One. So Deku accepts the praise, and he thinks about and wanting to become a hero. And Melissa coming in late. Deku, she's kind of saddened that that you already defeated the villains without me. As Deku's like sorry, Melissa, but I was thinking that maybe in that in a week, I heard that UA was gonna do. I heard that that UA was gonna start a school. I didn't think about that but until now, I want to be a hero so I can achieve my dreams, and I want you to become a hero too with me. As Melissa, smiling and all, pretty much, happy at the fact that, Deku wants to be a hero, pretty much, hugs Deku and, kisses him on the cheek. As Melissa, blushing really, really hard because she wasn't even expecting to do that. It was just like a random impulse that made her do that. As Deku, like, as Melissa just embarrassed and all that, she just did that or whatever. But as Deku pretty much saying like, all right, Melissa, calm yourself down. We got a week to prepare for this UA. So let's get going. As he walks off, then Melissa follows. And I know it's like 10 months training in for UA, but let's just say that already passed, and it's like that already passed like a while ago, and it's only like a week. So yeah. I think that'll be where I ended off. I'm sorry that I didn't get y'all a what if on Saturday, but your boy was out there all night, and I finally got myself a car, which is cool. I got myself a car, and I pretty much been out there for a few hours because I was looking at different car car rental places or whatever, so I can, find the best deal. But, you know, it's good. I pretty much got myself a 2018 Ford Fusion. So, yeah, that's good. I was pretty much, out there just, for a long time, just, looking for a car. And I pretty much, got home around like, 7. Your boy was tired. So, yeah, I didn't do a what if Saturday. So, apologies on that one. But, made sure to get y'all one today. So, yeah. Thank you for listening and all. And goodbye.